Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fridays with Father. Father Gary here at the beginning of a long weekend. This is Labor Day weekend, sort of the traditional end to summer and the beginning of fall, although we have a few more weeks officially of fall. But this really marks the beginning of fall with school starting and this long weekend of Labor Day. It is appropriate that we're here in front of our statue, in front of the church of St. Joseph the Worker. That's the official name of our church. He is the patron of our church under the title of the Worker. You probably know that St. Joseph has also another feast, that is the feast day of St. Joseph, husband of Mary. But our feast day is May 1st, and our patron is under the title of St. Joseph the Worker. So what a wonderful day to be here in front of this statue of St. Joseph the Worker. As you know, the last couple of weeks talked about our encounter with Jesus and how we're called to encounter him. I want to talk a little bit today about the accompaniment that happens as that encounter occurs, and as we continue to journey with Jesus. We don't do that all by ourselves, but we accompany one another on that journey of faith. And as some of you may have figured out by now, these themes of encountering Jesus, accompanying in faith, accompanying each other in this journey of faith. And what we'll talk about next is living the joy of the gospel. Those are themes that come from our archdiocesan pastoral planning process. Those are also the themes that are guiding our parish-centered pastoral planning process that we're doing right now with our pastoral council. So, encountering Jesus, accompanying one another on the journey of faith, and then living the joy of the gospel. Accompanying one another can take on so many aspects. One of the fundamental ones is to pay attention to those who we walk with. And as I mentioned last week, we know from the scriptures and from church teaching that the Lord calls us to accompany especially those who are most in need, the vulnerable. One of those groups is that group of people who can be sometimes exploited in our society. This real focus on workers as a subset of our culture that includes a lot of people, It might be a subset of our culture, but it is a lot of people who work day in and day out for a living. Pope Leo XIII, I mentioned last week when I was encouraging some participation in that Just Faith small faith sharing group. Leo XIII really began what we consider to be modern Catholic social teaching with a letter, an encyclical letter at the end of the 19th century in 1891. Really marks the beginning of modern Catholic social teaching. Pope Leo wrote that letter as a response to the Industrial Revolution and what many people were experiencing at that time, which was the exploitation of workers in this new industrialized world. Pope Leo was very conscious of how men, and especially women and children, were being exploited in this system. And so he wrote this letter to lay out what a Catholic vision of how to support the dignity of people who work. Well, that really started a process by which popes over the decades have reiterated Pope Leo's teachings. And so as we approach Labor Day this year, it's very important for us to recognize that some of those people that we accompany along the way are people who work for a living, and especially those who are at the lower end of the economic scale in our country, and really throughout the world, who work and barely get by. Huh? These would be people today in our modern world. We would say people who work in the hospitality industry, people who are housekeepers in hotels, those who work in food services in a variety of settings on university campuses, in hotels. So there is this desire that we as a Catholic Church have to accompany these people, all workers really, because in work is really the dignity that we are given by God to help in the co-creation of the world, really. That's how Catholic social teaching sees work, as we're partners with the Lord in creating a world of justice and peace and dignity. So in work, it's not just a way to make a paycheck, but it's really a work to contribute to society. So we keep workers in our prayers and in our hearts and in our minds this weekend. Yes, as we gather on Monday for, traditional barbecues and all those sorts of things that we do and enjoy a day off, which is important for all of us. As I mentioned when I started this series, that whole sense of Sabbath rest is very important. Well, we have an extra day this week, and I hope that you all take advantage of it and relax and enjoy time with family and friends. And to keep in mind and to accompany with our prayers workers among us, those who are really struggling to make ends meet, the unemployed, to accompany them with our prayers, the underemployed, to accompany them as well. Well, that's it for this version of Fridays with Father. Thank you for joining us today. Look forward to seeing you on Sunday for the 9 a.m. Mass in English, live streamed, the 11:30 a.m. Mass in Spanish, also live streamed, and the 5 p.m. Sunday night Mass. Have a wonderful Labor Day as well. God bless everyone.